garbage and fill from the rest of Victoria, because this was a tidal area. We refilled it, and pilings are sunk over 150 feet into the earth to be able to hold it up here. Now, it opened up in 1908, as I mentioned, and it has over 500 rooms, the most expensive being over $10,000 a night, which is a bit of a deal because before COVID it was about 13 grand. It's named the Empress because that was the title of Queen Victoria in India. She was the Empress of India, and so the hotel is reminiscent of that title. It was renovated between 2014 and 17 because the original design was covered in English ivy from the slate roof all the way down to the ground. But when the new architects came in and said, wow, that looks like it's going to be quite detrimental to the brickwork, so they pulled it all down. And what did they discover? They discovered multiple families of raccoons that had been living in there for generations and had collected huge stores of jewelry from the guest rooms.
Wow.
And so there's no need for air conditioning, so people would just open up their windows, the air come off in our harbor here, cool them off, and that was it. And we know raccoons like shiny things, so that was a little bit of surprise and a little bit of treasure. Now the legislature, I mentioned we are the provincial capital, similar to wherever your state is, your state capital, and as such this building opened up in 1898. It's topped by 33 copper domes. The largest in the center is topped by Captain George Vancouver, a British explorer who came into this area with his two ships, the Discovery and Chatham Discovery ships. It is lit up by 3,600 LED lights, and the original design called for 350 lights, which were the number of major jewels that were in Queen Victoria's crown. This building on our right-hand side is very similar to Ellis Island in New York because it welcomed new Canadians, and they were, new immigrants arrived in Canada for the first time, having come through that building. The Blackball Ferry Line is a Washington State-run ferry, and it connects us to the mountains that we started at the beginning of our time together. It has been in operation for over 60 years. And every Canada Day on July the 1st, we'll actually leave Canada as cyclists and travel over the United States to be able to ride into the national park over there, because it is the only place where we could really ride up to over a mile high there. And then we'll very, very welcomed by the Washingtonians there. They'll offer great deals in all the pubs and restaurants that will come back in time for our fireworks in the evening. We're just constructing a new U.S. ferry port right here on the right-hand side, a little terminal for the fast ferry that also connects us to Seattle as passengers for about 2 hours. Now this building, they got it all lit up again there, Cam Rob. Now this is the Pendray Mansion. Now the Pendray Mansion is now as a boutique hotel, but historically it was the home of William Pendray. William Pendray made his first fortune in the gold rushes of the western states. He came back to Victoria, he became a lawyer and eventually a judge, and also a very big landowner. He actually sold that land to the Canadian Pacific Railway, where the Empress Hotel is now located. He opened up a soap factory, which is a pretty good idea back in the 1800s, and he also started a paint factory. It is located on our right-hand side in this area of our city that is known as Laurel Point, and this is a hotel now. The problem is that for thousands of years, this point had been a burial ground for the local indigenous Songhees Nation. Before he began construction, the elders from the Songhees Nation asked for a meeting with him, and when they met with him, they said, Mr. Pendray, we understand you're a very, very powerful man in your community. However, we'd really appreciate it if you did not build your stinking paint factory on our indigenous burial ground. Well, he was a little bit of a conceited individual. He unfortunately ignored the elders' wishes. He went ahead and he built it anyways, and what happened? Karma's gonna get you. 2 years later, while he was inspecting one of the machines for the paint factory, a metal bar fell from about 30 feet high, hit him in the head, and he died on the paint factory floor. So message of that story, make sure you listen to your elders. They know what is going on. Now he is said to haunt the Pendray Mansion Boutique Hotel alongside his son, who also came to an untimely death. This unassuming building on our left-hand side is my favorite Italian restaurant, and it also has the best gift shop, so when you come back here,